Across the street.
All right, so we'll I'll go into the mentality of it, then we'll go through the objectives. All right, good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
All right. Let's get it going. All right, we got a lot of stuff to cover. I see some new faces, which I like. Some of the stuff may go over your head. Don't worry about it if you're new. You can hear it a bunch of times. You can go back and watch it. The first portion of our training is probably the most important thing that we're going to cover today. All of it's important, but this is the most important. I think, and we talk about this a lot, the difference between work processing and work creation. Okay. Most people are programmed for work processing, right? Which somebody gives you a task, they tell you they'll pay you money, you do the task, you're disgruntled while you take the money, you do accept the money, you keep complaining about how bad the task is, and then you do it again. Okay? And that's how I was trained in life. That's how a lot of people are. Years and years of working, you become, a zoo animal, right? Where you're fed and you're complaining, and then here we're introducing new concepts of work creation. And people, and this is very, very normal, right? When we interview people, when we try to bring people on our team, their first question, and really a lot of questions are going to stem off this first question is, how do we get our clients? How do we get our clients? And we know what, right? And I say this all the time in all my interviews, and I say this kind of as a joke. I said, well, there's no shortage of broke people. Our clients are out there. There are millions of people. We have people that just got married. We have people that are looking to put their kids in college. We have people that, want to protect their family, want a will, want home security, whatever it is. All the products that we have the best lineup of products, but we got to get people, you have to get your head around work creation. Hardest thing for me to do. Easier said than done. Still wanted handouts, still wanted people to provide the clients for me, then I try to figure this out, Josh. I will, because I have always been, and shyster is a strong word, okay? I don't want to say that, but I've always kind of been an angler. Any anglers in the room? Let me find out how I can do the least amount of work and make money. Let me find out how I can do the least amount of work and get the good grade. Let me talk my way out of it. Let me not actually do it, right? Before I acquired this body, okay, I tried to take pills, didn't work. I try to freeze off all of this and get the definition, but this is a lot of hard work. Okay, this is a lot of iron. But if anybody knows a pill, I'll take it. And I'll pay anything. Right? And even now, right? I mean, it's just your natural tendency to do that, right? Oh, I found a shortcut in traffic, right? If you take this exit route, you can get there half a mile early. And some of that is being smart. It's a better mousetrap. Okay? But some of it is very counterproductive. Okay? Because business owners don't think like that. They want to provide the best service. They want to get the best client. They want to, yes, be efficient, but they want to grow their business in such an immense way. They're willing to put in the work. Okay. And why am I saying this? What am I talking about? Setting appointments. And that's why I'm talking about that, because, you know, if you're trying to figure out this business, and I've done it many, many times, and it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are in the business, how new you are, how experienced you are, if you're trying to figure out how to do this business without setting appointments. And I had an angle, Josh. I was like, okay, I'll hire somebody that has appointments. Then I don't have to set them. No. You get those people because you go lead from the front. This is an example business, right? You can't motivate anybody. You're just going to be a great example for people. I don't try to motivate you. Now, I hope you leave here a little more motivated. I hope you leave here a little bit more positive. But my job is not to motivate you, okay? Your family should motivate you. Your kids should motivate you. Your spouse should motivate you. Your financial situation should motivate you, right? Your goals should be all over the place, all over your phone, alerts, all that stuff, all over, just ringing your bell all the time about, not to make you feel bad, but hey, let me go get out of bed and let me go freaking fight for this stuff because it's worth it, right? So, you know, and I believe, you know, in the carrot, right? I mean, fear motivates good and, you know, stuff like that, but I don't like working under pressure. I know some people say that, you know, working under pressure. And I don't mean to mock that, but, you know, for me, that's kind of stupid, right? I mean, you know, I don't want to put my back against the wall. Sometimes it goes against the wall, and you know, yeah, you got to see what you're made of, but I like to live below my means. I like to put great goals in my face, get out of bed, work my butt off, all right? So what am I talking about when I say appointments, all right? So we're going to go over some appointment objections today. But before that, I still want to go through some psychology because, and I want you to write this down, right? Appointments are your entire life. Definitely in Primerica, okay? I mean, you know, I don't mean that in a literal sense. You know, obviously, I know people have other things going on. This is God, a family business. But if you want a great Primerica career here, appointments are your entire Primerica life. It's your brain, your heart. It's the major organs that function, that connect everything. Okay, nothing functions without appointments. Everything you do in this business is to do more appointments and have more appointments set. Now, there's other things that happen. You have to recruit somebody. They have to get licensed. They have to get promoted. You know, you have presentations, you know, but at the end of the day, ultimately, we want tons of appointments. And if you become great at it, a 9 or a 10, not a 5 or 6, you can't be mediocre at this, man, this is a money machine. You know, I think I've told you guys a little bit about this, but you know, now I'm starting to talk to my son a little bit about money, right? Just teaching him a little about money and trying to get him to, you know, figure out things. And so in his math problems, you know, it's funny because my daughter was like a star athlete for her elementary school. I think she was athlete of the month or something like that. Out of the entire second grade, and my son, and they both were on the television. They had like a little elementary school thing, and my son was number 3 in the entire math competition for whatever they did, right? So I'm giving him a lot of math problems now because he likes it. He's got this confidence because he's doing well at it, and so now I'm teaching him money. I say, okay, if we buy this, because he's always asking me, what do you do? I don't understand, you know, because you know people talk, kids talk. What does your dad do? What does your dad do? And I'm, you know. Well, number one, right, when I'm in my neighborhood, you know, people are always asking me, hey, where are your parents, right? It's like, no, I'm the dad. They always ask me that. Like, you know, I'm always doing stupid stuff. You know, I'm always on my rollerblades or, you know, running around throwing the football with the kids. I'm literally like the backyard hero. I beat up on these kids. Okay, like I'll juke them, I'll stiff arm them. I know it's the way it's like, hey man, don't be coming at me. You know, like I don't care, right? I mean, your weight is the same as mine. You're gonna get it too, okay? I don't care if you're 9.5. Okay, it's the same to me. Okay. So I mean, if they lower the hoop, I mean they're getting dunked on. I mean, and it's awesome. And so, and I know the parents, they come home at 6:30 and I'm hooping with the kids. You know, I'm like, yeah, what? And I talk all of it. Like, I mean, and it's great. And then the parents come home and I'm like, oh, I gotta go too. You know, dinner's ready, come on. And I take my son home and we go and they're like, hey, where's your dad? And like, it's just very confusing.
Yeah.
Right. So my kids are always asking, what do you do? And so I'm trying to tell them, well, I run a business or I help people make money because they don't understand these things. So now I'm trying to, like, I said to my son, I was like, okay, so he's doing word problems. I said, okay, if you buy this and you can sell it for this. So if you buy a phone and you buy it for $50 and you sell it for $100, how much should you make? And he's like, $100. I was like, no, you had to buy it for 50. So okay, 50. So if you sell 5 of them, how much you make? $250. And he goes, can you do that? I go, yeah, there's a lot of things you can buy and then resell it. Like, that's a form of business. And so now he's starting to understand a little bit about, okay, so you can buy something at a good price and then resell it, or you can fix it up or do something or package it up to make it a little bit more appealing and sell it. And so he's starting to learn money, right? He's starting to learn the concept of earning money. And then he goes, well, why can't you print money? How is money there? I was like, well, you know, the Treasury, there's a mint, they print money. And he's like, can we print it? I was like, yeah, but you know, my dad was like, you'll go to jail. And he's like, but can we print it? You know, he's a man of my own. That's my son right there.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody thinking about jail. What can we print it? You know, and he was like, so, you know, when people work and this and that, I was like, yeah, so when you work, people will tell you and they have something, and then you say, hey, I want to do this for you. Like, you know, you asked me to rake the leaves, I'll give you $50. So it's depending on me. I go, and he goes, well, okay, so how does that work for you? I said, no, it doesn't work like that for me. I said, depending on the amount of people I help, and I can help as many people as I want, I can make as much money as I want. In his head, I felt like I was doing an op meeting right there. He's like, what? He goes, so you can make as much money as you want? I was like, yeah, but I have to help a lot of families. Like, say I make $1 per family, I could help 100 families make 100, or I could help 1,000. And he's like, 1,000. Right? And I'm just trying to expand his mind a little bit, because, you know, people have such preconceptions about money, and it follows them, and they have a financial blueprint. And you know, you hear things, you know, like a book of, you know, I'm not saying you have to read it. It's a very difficult read. How to Raise Your Own Salary. Around if anybody's ever read it. It's a great book, but it's an interview from Napoleon Hill with Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie was the Bill Gates of his time. Very, very good business owner. Started the Carnegie Steel Corporation, all that stuff, right? And he goes, well, how do you determine a man's wage? This is what he asked him. He goes, I never determined that. They determine their own. He goes, how do you determine how much you pay somebody? What's their wage? He goes, I never determined that. This is hundreds of years ago. He goes, they determine that. They determine that. And I'm not saying, so this is like, we're trying to reset your thermostat, thermometer, whatever you want to call it, right? So like, I don't want my son to think, okay, I just have to do a job, and then what someone's will pay me, I'm willing to accept. Because it's not what you're worth, it's what you're willing to accept, right? Mm-hmm. And here it's different. And this starts with your creativity and your mind on appointments. Because if you can get people playing this game about going out on appointments, you're the Federal Reserve. Now you're a money mint. You are printing money. You can make thousands of dollars a week, then thousands of dollars a day, right? And it was very difficult for me to do appointments in the beginning. I had a mental block, but when I got better, I got more confident. When I got more confident, I set more. When I set more, I struggled in the beginning, but then I got better, and then I closed, and then I could feel more confident with my new recruit. And then I also had my own personal appointments, and it turned out to be an unbelievable, positive, perfect storm. And then the money just started coming in. And then it was $1,000 a week, then $2,000 a week, then $3,000 a week, then $5,000 a week. And then now, right, we're about 1,000, maybe 1,300 every single day, 7 days a week. And yeah, sometimes it's cool. You'll see somebody, they made 16,000 in a day or 5,000 in a day or, you know, whatever it is, right? And that all happened with the stuff I'm talking to you about. Because always remember this, okay? And I know there's some new people here. Daddy didn't give me this business, okay? I didn't come in and say, hey, man, and I had 20 district leaders under me, okay? I came in as a rep, just like you, unlicensed, sitting in training, got recruited through the op meeting, did my orientation, did a bunch of appointments, got dark house, all that stuff. I'm not an executive, and, you know, I went to a better university you did, so I got a job that you couldn't get. I know somebody at the company, so I talked my way into this. No. I had the same uniform you know, it's like when you go to Taekwondo, right? We all start as a white belt. And then I passed the test and I got the yellow and the brown and the purple and the blue and then eventually the black. Same thing. I can't pay for it. That's the awesome thing about this, right? And it always goes down to the fundamentals, which is this, setting appointments. And I'm going to go through some things again, and you guys got to really get this, okay? And how do we know we're getting them? Because we're doing appointments, we have appointments, right? Anyways, so are there chairs back there? Okay. All right, so we know when we qualify appointments, right? The main thing is what? Huh? Okay. Married, kids, homeowner, income, occupation, live on their own. You know them. You know both the husband. You know the wife. You know both people. The funnier the appointment gets, the funnier it's going to be. Okay. I know it's 2019.
Yes.
People are not married, but if they're married, it's a better appointment. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I understand. I mean, some of you guys fundamentally may not believe in the institution of marriage. I'm not going to debate you on that. I could care less about that. In financial services, going on appointments with married people works better than when they're not married. Okay? Because coincidentally, people that fundamentally don't believe in marriage, they also don't believe in insurance either. And they don't believe in retirement or money or currency or traffic, or they believe you should go, on red instead of green. Okay, so you can engage in a lot of philosophical debates, but I want to check at the end of the night. And so generally people that are married do better. Okay, so you just understand that. Okay, understand that. That's all, right? And I mean that. I don't judge people that are not married. I could care less. Okay, I really could care less, right? But also, big thing, they got to be employed. Right? We cannot work with people that are unemployed. Unemployed people have no disposable income, no discretionary income. They are not going to be able to participate in financial services, okay? We don't need $1 million. We don't need 250,000 like the other people, but you need to have a job. Okay, that's just it, period. I do not see people that don't have jobs. Now, if there's one income and the other partner does not work, that's cool, right? But if there is no income, you can't see it, right? Now, so when you set appointments, right, let's go through some of these fundamentals real quick. Okay, and I want you to write this down and I want you to take this apart. This is, like I said, appointments are your life here. They're your life. Okay, number one, get in the right frame of mind. Get in the right frame of mind to set an appointment. Even a text message. Okay, I know we do a lot of text messages. But even sending out messages, I just want you in the right frame of mind, right? You're sluggish, you just had a bag of chips, you're on the TV, you watched an entire football game and you're just feeling like a vegetable, right? Probably don't go right into making an appointment call. Walk around the block, read a book for 15 minutes, do some push-ups, do something, right? I remember I used to do this, right? I built my business a little differently. We had training on Saturday, and we had training 3 hours straight. We'd go in 9 o'clock, we'd get done at 12. Okay, that was our Saturday training. We never took a break. We never set appointments. So in a 3-hour meeting that my trainer set up, right? People were exhausted at the end of 3 hours. They had stuff to do. So they just dispersed. So I would meet with my guys back on Sunday night. And in the beginning, I didn't have any guys. I didn't have any teammates. So I had to set my appointments on Sunday night. So I would take, and I'm just asking you if this is too much for you, okay? Meaning, because you don't have to do it on Sunday, okay? But taking 2 hours, this is what I would do. Taking 2 hours over the weekend. 2 hours. 4 sitcoms. 2-hour shows. I mean it. To make sure my week was set up, to get on that phone and blitz and call and ask for referrals and get on that phone to make sure my week was set up. And before I do that, I know this is, we'll see, we'll see who's under the age of 23. Anybody? Okay. So, like, do you know what a Walkman is? You see this? You don't know what a Walkman is?
For real?
So I had a Walkman. Okay. You know what a audio cassette is? That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's true, right? So it's funny. It's right. A Walkman was you know what a tape is, right? You know what a tape is? So a Walkman played the tape. Okay, so that's what it did, right? So you put your little tape in, and I have my little Art Williams tape. Yeah. My Hector Lamarck tape. And just get in the right frame of mind if I can do it. I needed that. I don't know about you guys. I needed that. I have lots of doubts. I doubt myself a million times a day. A million times a day. Filled with doubt. You're not superhuman, okay? You're gonna doubt yourself all the time. And it's so much. I'll just call tomorrow. I'll just call tomorrow. It's not a big deal. I'm tired. I'm not my best. But that's that slippery slope, right? That's that no hurry, right? So I would just get on. I would just get in the right frame of mind, pound my chest a little bit, get in the right attitude, listen to my little audio, right? Then it went from Walkman, then I upgraded to MP3 player, right? Then you had the iPod, right? And then now it's just all on your phone, right?
Skip CDs.
Yeah, you like CDs? Yes, right? CDs, DVDs, all of it. Anyways, and then, right? And then just to get my attitude right, and then I'd be on the phone for 2 hours. Literally 2 hours. 2 hours, make sure and then, man, I felt great on Sunday because my week was set up. We had a Thursday night op meeting, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was booked out. I had follow-ups, and I had appointments, I had places to go, and I was ready to attack my week because I did what I needed to do. 2 hours, that's it. 2 hours. And remember, okay, that 2 hours is going to free you from your stupid job. Okay? That 2 hours is going to give you the confidence to expand your mind that what? I don't have to take this stupid paycheck. If you want the check, it's cool, but you know you're worth more than that. Right? Because always remember, everything you allow to happen to you, it becomes part of your identity. Right? So when I worked at my job and they were paying me $700 a week, and I mean working me to the freaking bone for free, and Agina, I was convinced, I mean it, that I was lucky to have this job. That's how good my corporation was. With all the intimidation tactics, man, we're approaching layoffs, all these things. We were always terrified, petrified, scared. So I was like, man, wow, this is great. Hell yeah. And then when I saw a presentation, I was like, wait, you can make $1,500? Like, no, that's not true. And I was like, wait, how much do you make? You're $200,000. You work part-time. You went to 3 years of college. You didn't even finish, because my plan is going back to school, getting more debt, even though I hate taking tests. And yeah, when you say that, I really don't want to do this guy's job because he works harder than me. And then I started, right? And it all started with what? Because I got paid. My first appointment, 1 hour, I made $400. from somebody setting an appointment. I go, wow, I just set an appointment. I did an appointment. I presented something. This is a services business, so there's no inventory, right? You can buy something, right? But then if it doesn't sell, what do you got to do? It spoils. Yeah. Technology, you buy some, and then it goes on sale. You eat it. This is a service, and service is always better than products. And I started figuring it out, and I started connecting the dots. So 2 hours, not too much to ask for your freedom from a job, right? Not too much to ask for you to be set up so you can make money that week. So, secondly, right? What other things would I say to myself all the time as I was setting appointments? What am I doing here, right? I'm just asking for help. I'm just asking to sit down with somebody. I'm asking for a little bit of their time. If they would call me, I would help them. I told this story before when I went through a training very similar. People call me. They call me for stuff all the time. They ask me for favors all the time. When I say that, appointments and business stuff, they call me. And so Rod calls me, and Rod says, "Hey, Shaq," and Rod is a nice guy. He's polite, but he's just really, like, when he's asking me, he's not confident at all. He's like, "Hey, man, do you think this, that?" And I'm just like, "What do you need? I'll help you, man." Because I'm in the business of setting appointments. And then I go, "Dude, you're my buddy. I will definitely give you my time, man. What do you need?" And he's like, "Okay, thank you." And then afterward, "Hey, can I give you some advice, man?" I said, "Hey, look, I just asked. Like, it's not a big deal. That you're not doing it. You're my buddy, so I can tell you this. You're not doing yourself any favor by not being a little bit more direct. I don't think you have to be mean and nasty when being direct. Okay, I don't have this tonality that I am when I'm projecting in front of a group of people speaking. But when I'm talking on the phone, I am confidently asking, "Hey, will you help me?" And ask. That's all you're asking for. And the better you are at asking, and a little bit more direct, you will have more appointments. And more importantly than that, I always remember Bill Whittle told me this. He said, strong people want to be told what to do. Weak people need to be told what to do. So either way, you got to tell them. Strong people want to be told what to do. Weak people need to be told what to do. So either way, you have to tell. All right, so after I set up the appointment, and this is the difference between actually setting the appointments and doing the appointments, right? A lot of people, right? And this is the start. This is the first step, is setting up the appointments. We're great, like our office, right? Our base shop, we had whatever it was, 31, 32 appointments. We went on 8 this week. That's unacceptable. This is my base shop, right? That's unacceptable. 50% is the minimum. A great appointment setter, a good appointment setter, 60, 75% is great. That's got to be your goal. So when I set the appointment, okay, write this down. You cannot be casual when closing up the actual appointment, okay? Doesn't mean you be mean about it, but you got to button it up. Okay? You can't, when someone says yes, that's not yes. Okay? So if I say, "Hey, Rod, are you willing to help me?" "Sure." "Okay, I'll be there tomorrow at 7 o'clock. "Awesome, thanks, man." That's not an appointment. Not even close. Even if I know this guy, he's my buddy, I know his address, I don't need it, that is not an appointment. Okay? You have to get a little formal at the end, and here is what it is, okay? Okay, even before you do these 3 steps, which you all know, right? You have to, with new recruits, you know the difference of why I am where I am and most people are not where I'm at in this business? Sense of urgency. I was just faster than you. Wasn't I was better? Wasn't that I worked harder? Some maybe I had more activity, but a big thing was I had a tremendous sense of urgency. Tremendous sense of urgency. So when I was talking about getting my training or my promotion or asking for help in a week, in 2 weeks, and I was very, very determined. Yeah, I didn't let things linger on for months and months and months and months, because It just creates this slowness and infection to disease, right? So, number one, what do? We confirm the spouse is there.
Mhm.
Hey, Rod, I just want to make sure, is this a good time for Tony? Just because I need her there in order to count for my training. Or I won't be allowed to do it if she's not there. Okay, so number one, you confirm the spouse. Always confirm the spouse. We cannot do one-legged appointments.
Mhm.
We can't do it. All right? It's ineffective, it's inefficient, it's a disservice. We can't do one-legged appointments. Number two, when we ask them, because some people may think about rescheduling and they may need to reschedule. Hey, Rod, hey man, if for whatever reason this doesn't work, give me preferably, this is what I say it nice, okay? I know what's going on, you're asking them for a favor, they agreed to help you, but they haven't agreed yet. This is part of the agreement. Hey, preferably 2 days notice, but at the very least, at least call the day before. Because, like I said, I'm in training, so I'm bringing my trainer. And I just want to be courteous to him or her. And, if you call me the day of, I can't get somebody at that time, and we've already, you know what I mean, right? So just call me a day, at least 2 days before. If you say something like, hey, if it doesn't work out, don't worry about it, just give me a call, you're dead. You're dead. You'll get is reschedules.
Mhm.
People will, and I'm using this as a term, if this has happened to you in the past, and why am I training so emphatically about this? Because this is exactly how my career started. People will treat you like a doormat.
Yeah.
They'll take you out, they'll beat you, clean you, and you will be frustrated, and it's all because you didn't zip up the appointment, okay? And you don't do it meanly, you don't do it nasty, and even the people you're trying to set appointments with, they don't have bad intentions. It was just errors on our part. And then the last thing is be flexible, right? Hey, also, I have you down for 6, but I'm just wondering, can we be flexible with the time just in case we come early or we come late because we'll be coming from another appointment? And then what are you doing? You listen, because you're going to hear a lot of information there. Well, could you hear? Sure, I'm here all night. We're good. So that means what? If things are going really well on the first appointment, you're closing, you're getting referrals, you don't have to rush as much, right? If they say what? Okay, yeah, you can come as early as you want, but I just want you to know we got a hard stop at 8 because the kids go to bed. You've learned more information.
Yes.
You can't be late on that appointment. And then maybe when you set another appointment, right, you can switch them or do something or whatever it is. Because listen, I built my business, right? I got to RVP from 2004 to basically 2007. Okay, I got married in 2008. I had my child in 2010. And from 2010 to 2014, okay, I had to manage my schedule properly. Okay, I'm not this guy that did one appointment on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. I didn't do that stuff. I'd rather be at home with my wife and my son. So I went on 3 appointments on Monday, 2 appointments on Monday, 2 appointments on Tuesday. I was good at managing my schedule. You got to be great at managing your schedule, right? And I'd rather do 2 appointments in the night or 3 appointments in the night. If I'm going to work, let's go. Why would I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 appointments if I can go 3 on Monday? I can take off Tuesday and Wednesday. When I say take off, I can just do other stuff as opposed to go half butt on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's just not being smart. You're dragging out the work. And I'm not saying this work is a drag, but you got to be good with your schedule.
Yes.
So you ask for flexibility. Remember this, 20% of the population, 20% are extremely punctual. Very punctual. Like nutty punctual. And if you say 8 and you come at 8:15, it's not going to be good. Even though it's just 15 minutes, they're upset. They've done a favor. they got their kids ready, they rearranged something and they came early to meet you and you disrespected them. Okay? So if you're trying to close, you're trying to do multiple appointments, there's traffic, you're waiting for a trainee, the first appointment, they had to put the dogs away, someone came late, something happened, what? You're not going to be able to come on time, so you have to ask to be flexible. And you got to tell them, hey, we may come early, we may come late, we're going to come from, I'll let you know. And then you stay on top of it. If you're running, hey, my ETA, I always say, my ETA is this, my ETA is that. I'll be here, and you're on top of it. You're very communicative during the appointments, and you're going to have great appointments. And you're going to close business, right? Now, and I'll go through this one more time, right? When we're setting up appointments, and I talk to Rod, what's he going to say, right? He says yes, and I go to confirm the time, and what's he always going to say? Let me check with my wife.
Yes.
Okay, always remember that. That's what they're always going to say. They're always going to say, let me check with my wife, let me check with my husband. And in their mind, okay, they really mean that. They want to check with their person. They just want to be courteous. They want to say, hey, is it okay before I give you a confirmation? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get in trouble. Let me ask her first. Let me talk with her first. Let me talk with him first, and then set it back. Their intentions are very solid. They're very good people. They mean it. You will not, and this is what will happen. I'm telling you this right now because I want you to understand this is what happens, okay? I am a guy. I am married. People try to set appointments with me. So Rod has just started this business, okay? And Rod, look at him. College graduate, stud, father, has a job. Now he's working in the work creation business and loves the business, loves Primerica, loves the meetings, went to licensing class, all of it. And now he's feeling some sort of way, doesn't know what it is about setting an appointment with his buddy, who's me. So just picking up the phone and dialing the number was a victory for him. Okay? And he calls me. And he goes through, and I mean, he's reading the script, his voice is trembling, his voice is cracking, and he gets through the script, and I say, Rod, I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, hey, definitely. I'll do anything for you, man. Let me just check with my wife, and I'll call you back. And Rod goes, yeah, of course, man. Because he believes me, because what I said is true. I'm just going to check with my wife, and I'll call you back. That, in my mind, that is 100% what I'm going to do, okay? So we hang up the phone, and I want to check with my wife and then call you back. And I walk into the room, okay, because, yeah, all right, man, yeah, that's cool. Rob was kind of excited about it. Let me go. And, I mean, just coincidentally, right at that second, my 3-year-old bit my 7-year-old. Like, I mean, a bite mark, like blood, okay? So I book the shit out of my 3-year-old, I put her in a little cage and then, get shit handled before my wife comes because she's cooking dinner, and then, my kids attack me and all this stuff happens, and then, Miles Garrett got suspended, so I'm thinking about that, like, this is really important, and then I forgot about you, Rod. I literally forgot about what you had just said. And I mean, it was a code, it was an emergency in the house, and so, got it handled, and I totally forgot, okay? So, Rod's thinking, what happened to you? Does he not like me anymore? Because I didn't call him right back. And then so he's like, all right, and it's just this awkwardness, so he waits one day to call me. I don't want to pressure him, I don't want to be like that, you know what I mean? So, he waits one day to call me. So he calls me, and everybody has their phone with them all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pick up my phone. Shit. It's Rod. What did he want me to do? Oh, he wanted me to talk to my wife about this appointment, this and that. So and Rod knows. And he sent me right to voicemail. So now Rod is tripping. Okay, he's like, oh no, he hates me, this and that, what happened? And it was just, so I'm like, all right, I gotta remember to talk to my wife about this appointment, it's really important to Rod, okay? And I go home and another emergency happens, a pipe breaks, diaper, whatever it is, something happened and I totally forgot, don't set the appointment. Then Rod called, and now Rod is just, he's commit, he wants to commit Primerica suicide. He's done. Dude, this doesn't work. First appointment, this guy, he's my friend. He said yes. Now he's ducking me. Now Rod feels terrible. Oh man, hey, no. I know Primerica works, but just me, my job's not that bad, this, that, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he gives up. And guess what? He believed me. And what I said was believable. Because that is what happens. And so that can all be eliminated by what? How to overcome this and get the appointment, right? And so how do we get the appointment?
Let me pencil it in.
Okay. Go through it with me. So you say, hey, Josh, yeah, definitely, absolutely, man. Anything to help you? Let me just check with Aaron and then I'll give you a call back.
Dude, I get that, trust me. Let me ask you a question. When are you and Urim usually together, like evenings or weekends?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, so today is Friday. Weekend's coming up. It's just me and you training.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I'm a new trainee, so I'm scheduled to work on Monday between 6 and 9 o'clock and Tuesday between 6 and 9 o'clock. Which, I know you guys are together on evenings, so which of those days you're maybe freer right now?
Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, good. So, look, go talk to Aaron. I'm just gonna pencil you in because I don't want somebody to take this slot up. I'm just really excited about this. I'm gonna just pencil it in. If something changes, give me a call back, but why don't we just plan for Tuesday at, say, 6 o'clock? Fair enough?
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. That's how you do it. You want to do that, okay? And let me go through psychology, the psychology of what he said. Okay. Number one, if people ask you, hey, can I check with my wife? Remember, this is a free country. People are free to do whatever they want. Yeah. Okay. So you must be agreeable with people. That's why you always say, definitely. Okay? You say definitely. After you agree with them, of course, sure, definitely. Okay? Then we incorporate the plan pause. Okay? While I have you on the phone, see how long I pause? I mean, look, it's an awkwardly long plan pause. While I have you on the phone, when are you and Lelix usually home?
Yeah.
Somebody else then? I'm getting used because he just started crying, so I don't know what. Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry. Stay in the qualified market.
Yeah.
Chandel, when are you normally you guys are both together on weekends? Yeah. In the morning or in the
Usually in the evening.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
So why don't we do this? Like I said, while I have you, let me just tentatively put you in pencil for Saturday morning. Okay. 1 o'clock. And if it doesn't work, definitely check with Mike, check with him. If it doesn't work at all, just let me know. If not, at least I have this on your schedule. Does that sound good? Right. And so what have we done? Okay, we use the plan pause. We isolate days. Never, ever, ever, ever say when works for you. That is brain overload of thinking. No one wants to think like that. No one manages their schedule that well. I do not manage my schedule that well, and I'm pretty good, and I'm better than other people. I don't manage it like that, okay? They can only think 1 or 2 days. They can only think, oh, I know Monday I'm not free. I mean, I'm not free on Monday. Tuesday I am free, and you work through, and you get the appointment scheduled, you get it tentatively, and then that's it. And that's a lot less stress off them. They're not going to talk to their person. Chandel's not going to talk to Mike, probably not, right? They might mention it if they do. If not, you show up on Tuesday, you have an appointment. They're both there because you know they're there. They're not busy. They don't have much going on. And you do the appointment, right? And you confirm and you do a great job of walking them through. And if you get great at this, especially closing up the appointments, and then you teach your team how to be great at setting appointments, you're printing money now. And if you commit, I would say at least, and you can set appointments throughout the week, but at least 2 hours on your weekend, because we are a school night business, okay? I know some people do a lot of work on the weekends, good for you, awesome, and you can do whatever you want. But generally, the numbers say we're better on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, okay? And now what we do a lot, and people are doing a really good job of this, you can do daytime appointments now. So you don't even need to be out in the evenings. You know, I wouldn't say need, but you don't have to be out in the evenings, and you can tailor your schedule to daytime stuff. Daytime appointments. So, but you got to get great at setting appointments, and you got to have that urgency. All right, and you know, always remember this, and this is the biggest thing, right? And I hear this. My brother, you know, he's you know, same thing, right? I mean, he's trying to set appointments, and these are people he's known for 15 years, and you know, stuff like that, 20 years. They've gone through so much together, right? You know, you grow up, these are your buddies, right? And you know, you're trying to always remember this, right? For you, it was an important phone call. That was your call. That was a huge victory for Rob. To them, it was just another call. It was 1 in 10 that they're going to get. They're not thinking about it, right? I'm just telling you, it's not. So, you know, overanalyzing it is just not healthy.
Right.
Okay. You might be partly right. Maybe somebody's kind of avoiding you a little bit, but like I make a call, you know, Rob makes a call to me. I literally forgot about it. I was not intentionally being disrespectful to him, mean to him. I wasn't mad at him. I'm absent-minded, and it was a phone call. It sounded cool. I literally 30 seconds later, I forgot. He didn't forget because that's his work. That's what he does, but I did. So don't, you know, if you do got to call people back, who cares, man? Reach back out to them. Okay? You know, follow up with them. Be persistent. Be persistent to the point you're annoying. Okay? I don't like to do that, but if you got to be, you know, do it pleasantly, but be persistent. And reach out. And sometimes you're going to have to ask 4 or 5 times. But when if you get an agreement, you button it up. And that will really help you actually go on the appointments. All right. Now, I wanted to bring some objections, and these are more kind of, you know, they're not training appointments. Obviously, like say, Vincent, you know, you're going to be setting appointments with me. I'm going to set all your initial appointments. Okay, until you're really ready to do the appointments. Well, I'm not ready to do the appointment. We're ready to set appointments on your own. You're not even going to do anything. You're just going to hand me the phone. So don't worry about it if you're brand new about setting appointments on your own. Your trainer will do that, okay? But I did want to give some objections today. Right, okay. We already have someone that does that. You might get that, right? Now, depending on the nature of you setting the appointment, was it a training appointment? Was it asking for a favor? This may not be or might be relevant, but I want to give you some psychology, right? What are the key to always handling objections? Questions. Always write this down. Questions, control. Questions, control. You're not making statements, you're asking questions. Questions draw people in. Statements push people away.
Yes.
So even, and this is just good to understand some psychology behind setting the appointments. Okay? Doesn't mean you're going to use all this, but I like that you know the thinking, and then you can formulate and you have questions in your arsenal. If for whatever reason, Ruby, if for whatever reason, we're going to make a little bit of a snide remark, or sometimes we're going to challenge somebody, or maybe even confront them, how do we go about doing it?
If they do the remark towards us?
No, if you kind of have to ask them a question that you feel could rub them, right? It's gonna be a tough one, it's gonna be a little, you know.
Well, I could say either something like, I've had other clients that are in the same situation.
Okay, that's good, that's a good one, right? If you say something that's called a similar situation, if you use another example, it does soften the blow, that's great, okay? What else?
Sometimes I do like a small joke or something about the situation.
Okay.
Just lighten up things a little bit.
Right, that's also good. Humor's good, right? Some of your humor is awkward humor, don't use it. They don't understand your jokes.
Yeah.
But I do think, you know, I do think that that could be something. What else?
Those are the main ones I use.
Okay, what about delivery? How are you gonna deliver it, actually? Because always remember, 7% of what you say is the actual words, the word that you use. 93% of communication is nonverbal. It's not the words. It's how you say it, it's your body language, it's your eye contact, it's the volume of what you say, it's the inflection, all that stuff, right?
Well, in a situation like if someone, that was my objective, and said, oh, I already have someone that takes care of that. Oh, I understand. I appreciate you letting me know. But if it's just a few minutes, you can just sit down and just go over the situation. I'm just looking for some help and seeing if you can maybe have a referral for me or someone that might need my services later on.
Great, that's great. Now, what I was looking for, right? Anybody know what I was looking for? Right? Speak softly, right? Lower your tone, whisper almost. You don't, I mean, be very, very, you don't want to yell, you don't want to, like, some of you guys, when you get nervous, you talk faster and louder. What do you mean you already have somebody? It's not gonna go well. Okay? It's not gonna go well. You gotta stay calm, you gotta, you know, just, okay, this is just what it is. You gotta kind of put them to sleep, right? Put them to sleep, right? Let them, because if you get anxious, they're gonna get anxious. A lot of people mirror, that's just what they do, right? They get either defensive or they mirror exactly you. So you get frantic, they're gonna get frantic, right? But some of these objections, right? And you look, always remember, if you're a closer, which you need to get to be, you're gonna have to ask 3 or 4 times sometimes. You have to maneuver around. So you have to ask 3 or 4 times in a professional and pleasant way. Do you have someone else that handled, did you have someone else that handled your finances before them? This is a great question, because it's a bear trap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, usually they say yeah. They've had a financial advisor. So, Rod, did you have, we already have someone. Did you have someone else that handled your finances before the person that's currently handling it now? Okay. Why did you make the change? I mean, that's just so good. Right? Why'd you make the change? Let them say it. Oh, you know, they had a better program, they offer better service, it was cheaper. Or, right? What else? You're finding out they didn't have anybody and there's some line. Now look. I'm being for real. Sure. You're trying to set an appointment. You're doing you're digging around. You're an investigator. You're figuring it out. You find out I lied. Okay? I did not have anybody. Okay? What's the benefit of that? Is there a benefit from you actually discovering that I'm just full of crap? No, I'm serious. Is there?
You now know you're full of crap.
Okay. What else? Thanks, Captain Obvious. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Maybe an opportunity to say that something true, like most of my clients haven't had advisors before. They
Okay,
moved their money
okay.
from other places.
All right, let me rephrase the question. If you get somebody, okay, and you know, they're just spewing it, okay?
Yeah.
You know, we've all been there if you've set a bunch of appointments. You find out they don't have somebody, they're just saying it, and you call them on it a little bit, okay? Do you think you'll actually get the appointment? No. Okay? But, and this is not a moral victory, okay? But at least you don't care as much.
Yeah.
right? Like, a lot of this is you. It's about you. It's not about them. So if I caught Rod, and Rod was just spewing it, and he doesn't set an appointment, which I don't think I would get the appointment, but I'm thinking like, what a fool. Let me make the next call.
Yeah.
I'm not defeated. I'm not feeling inadequate. I'm not feeling incompetent, right? Because always remember, our job is not to be confrontational with people. But if he says, I have somebody, that's legitimate. Let me ask him some questions. And I find out he's lying, then I just know he's full of it. And I'm not gonna say walk out head held high, because at the end of the day, I wanted the appointment. But always remember, we gotta have a small desire and a little bit of an open mind and an opportunity-minded person. If someone is arrogant, prideful, deceitful, there's not much you can do, right? And I don't think that this is like a blatant lie. It's just somebody just talking ish, right? I mean, so did you have someone else that handled your finances before then? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, why did you make a change? They say something better program, or less cost. Okay, well, if there was a way to improve your program even further, wouldn't you want to explore that? Right, you see, I'm talking very nice, very calm, very slow, right? I'm not rushing it. I'm not speaking fast at all, ever. Never do that. You got to talk very clear. You got to really enunciate, talk slow, right? Your family deserves every possible advantage you can offer them, don't they? Right. Close it. Close the appointment. Questions, right? And if you feel like, I can see how people if you feel like that, okay, then you got to ask very softly, politely, quietly, sweetly, okay? You have a question? No. Okay. No. Okay, did you have someone that, no. Okay, so they say no. Do you think it would be worth getting a second opinion if you could accomplish your financial goals sooner? Great question. Do you think it would be worth getting a second opinion? It's a great terminology right there, second opinion. Do you think it would be worth getting a second opinion if you could accomplish your financial goals sooner? We don't have any money. So what do we say when we say, what thinking are we attacking when they say they don't have any money? Robert.
Appointment's complimentary. There's no cost to you.
Okay, other Robert. Robert Kane Jr.
So when they say that, most times they assume that we only sit with certain people. So we let them know, hey, this is, we talk to everybody, and also it's free, so it's not going to cost you. It's just a matter of limited time.
Okay. So when they say they don't have any money, okay, they don't have money. They don't have money to spend. They don't have extra money. They don't have money saved. I mean, just think about what it says about somebody. If you're asking them and they literally just put it out there, we don't have any money. Okay? They're broke. They're not proud of it. They are admitting it. They have no money. Okay? And that is going to be the overwhelming majority of our clients. Okay? Now, you're right, it's no cost, no obligation, but they're still thinking, I don't have any money. I don't care if you will sit down with me for free. And they're skeptical, they don't believe you. Mm-hmm. So you could go two routes. You could say, hey, our account minimums are $50. You could say that. Okay? But then what are you doing? You're bottom feeding.
Yeah.
Okay? You're immediately setting the expectation so low for the client. okay? But we know what? Always remember this. What do we know? They have money. They're just improperly spending their money. I tell people all the time, right? If I actually really talk to a client and I'm into it with them, I say, look, I'm not asking you to spend more money. I'm just asking you to rearrange the money you're improperly spending to put towards your financial goals. That's the mentality we have to have. A lot of my clients originally thought they didn't have the money before they met me. We actually find ways to free up money so you can save and invest more. And if you don't make the effort, are you ever going to have money? Right? A lot of my clients originally thought they didn't have the money before they met me. We actually find ways to free up money so you can save and invest more. If you don't make the effort, are you ever going to have the money? Right? They say when we free up the money, then we can meet and save. I know some people, they're reading the books, because we're recommending them, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, things of that nature. These are statements most people say. Just want you to understand that. That's what they always say.
Yeah.
We don't have money. When we free up money, then we can meet. It's a form of procrastination. It's a form of not putting a priority on paying yourself first. Now, this is one I would probably not use. But you get the point here. Okay? And you know what? I've used stuff like this before. What if I said I will diet and exercise after I lose 20 pounds? Would that make sense? Okay? Now look, when could you use this? If people are engaging in banter with you, then you could use it.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes people engage you, right? They're doing it fun, they're poking at you, they're poking at them, hey, man, I don't got money. But hey, man, when we set it up, if you're closing them, Rod, if I'm playing, hey, come on, man. That's like you saying, when I lose 20 pounds, then I'm going to diet. I just need some time, man. Remember, appointments are your life. You got to say what you need to say to get the appointment. And here's another thing, too, okay? I want you to really understand this. You can dial it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather you close a little harder too soon, too often, and then learn how to dial it back than always being a little too soft with it, okay? I think we are okay, right? We get that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying you have to ask these questions, but you have to start asking questions. You have to create doubt, right? Oh, okay. Do you know your financial independence number currently? No. Do you know your debt freedom date? Do you know when you'll be completely debt free? You start asking questions. I always said, do you have a plan in writing to get debt free, including your mortgage? The month and year you'll be completely debt free, the total interest that you're going to pay. I used to always say that to people. And they're like, well, no. And I say it really nicely, very politely. Are you one? And then, certain questions I love to say, are you 100% sure? Always use that 100%. Nobody's 100% sure about anything. Are you 100% sure that your assets are allocated properly? Are you 100% certain if something happened to you, your family will be properly protected? And they'd be okay financially? And you start asking questions. See if you can create some doubt. I don't want to buy anything. I understand how you feel. That's why when we meet, you can't buy anything. Even if they apply for coverage, they didn't buy anything. They're applying for coverage.
Right.
It's an application. They're not guaranteed coverage. That's why when we meet, you can't buy anything. The purpose is for me to get some info in your hands. If something piques your interest, we can get together down the road. Fair enough? Now look, if you're setting this as an appointment, you can say, plus, this is just to help you, man. I just need 30 minutes of your time. I'm going for my promotion in the next 2 weeks. You give them the sense of urgency. Find out when they're going to be together and you close the appointment. Could you send me some information? I could, but I found the info is of no value unless I can expand on the content. Usually people have even more questions after looking over brochures, and then I'm not there to answer them. Can you see how that would be a problem? I'm not interested. What exactly is it you're not interested in? And you don't, like you said, if you're, always remember, the thing about the porcupine, what's a porcupine? Oh, well.
So we throw back the question.
Right.
Respond to a question.
Right. They ask a question, and you respond immediately with a question, okay? Which, you should be always porcupining people. Okay? That should be how you always, if you're at all good at playing chess, you always ask questions. I mean, like meaning the chess game of life, always questioning people, because when they say something, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know why they're saying it. So you got to ask them and have them elaborate on what they said to you. I mean it. That's called what? Making them defend what they're saying.
Yeah.
But, okay, it's just like a bad people skill. If Josh asks me something and immediately I porcupine him, that's not good, because you're starting to raise the intensity of the debate. That's not what we want. So if Josh says to me, I'm just not interested. What exactly is it you're not interested in? And he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And hopefully I'm not offending him enough where we can still have a conversation. If not, hey man, And look, let me tell you something, okay? I mean this. I know there's some new people here, all right? And this is Friday training. This is RVP training. This is big money training. I'm not unaware. I know, especially when you're new in this business, the opinions of other people mean the world to you. They shouldn't, but they do. Okay? And the opinions of other people in my life, they mean a lot to me too. Okay? I'm not unabashed. I'm not unapologetic. I am apologetic. I know that this is very difficult to do, but let me tell you something. Okay? You take this how you want to take it. Anybody that I was concerned about, that I felt I may have rubbed the wrong way by just being a little bit too brash, a little bit too overzealous, a little bit too excited. I always did the right thing. I always apologized. I even feel bad for it now. If I ever kind of like, man, I didn't mean to make you feel like that, and I say that, but everybody that I care about, man, they have the most respect for what I've done. And I'm talking genuine respect for what I've done. Because when they realize how hard life is financially, or success, all that stuff, man, it's fun going from the ugly duckling to the lion, man. Right? It's fun when they're like, well, you need to talk to my brother, or you need to talk to this, you need to talk to my uncle, oh, my son does this. It's just fun, but to get to there, sometimes you got it, right? You got to learn how to challenge people, right? So when I say this, I know that this is a lot easier when I'm saying it to you, but I did this, okay? And sometimes I broke some eggs, man. It just didn't go as perfect and as planned. But in my journey to feed my family, to win my freedom, to quit my job, to accumulate millions, to train my team and lead a group of people, everybody kind of sit back and at least just respected what I was doing, right? And so I know, I don't want you to think that oh man, okay, you may not ever have to get to this point, right? But when you learn how to question people, when you learn how to have the proper people skills, porcupine people, learn how to set appointments like a pro and get on the appointments, man, it's just, I don't even want to say it's worth it. That's not even, it's so much more worth it than I can even tell you, right? So what is exactly you're not interested in? They don't know. He doesn't know. Right? I can understand you not being interested, especially in something you haven't seen. Would you rather make a decision with a little info or a lot? The only thing I ask is you get the info before you decide whether or not you're interested. I mean, how good is that? The only thing I ask is that you get the info before you decide whether or not you're interested. Does that sound fair? Now, if I paid you $1 million, would you ever jump out of an airplane without a parachute?
No.
Never? What if it was on the ground? Can't make a decision without all the information.
Right.
Right? You might twist an ankle, but it's worth $1 million. Right? Always remember, I never say that to somebody, but I want you to understand, they can't make the decision. They don't have all the information. They haven't seen it yet. And so you have to what? Question them, ask them,
Yep.
close them. Challenge them politely. That's what leaders do. That's what professionals do. If they believe it will be a waste of time, always remember this. Tia said this, you know. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember her saying this, and I think she said, Bruce said it to her. If you can tell people what they're thinking at that instant moment, right? That means you have impeccable people skills, right? It lightens the situation. Just like Ruby said, if she knows it's getting awkward, you throw a joke in there, you do something. But one great thing that you can always do is if you feel it's getting tight, just say, hey, look, I don't mean to, you know, and then okay, so at least you know, you're aware, right? So if you believe it'll be a waste of time, Tia, I get the feeling you think our getting together will be a waste of your time. Is that right? Let's ask her. And then she might say, no, it's not like that, right? She said, oh, I'm just busy, you know, I know it's not like that, right? I'll tell you what, if after 20 minutes you don't see any value or you don't feel I can improve your situation, I'll leave. It won't cost you a dime. Dude, just say that. If they believe you're just trying to sell them. I get the feeling you think if we get together, I'm going to try to sell you something. Is that right? No, right? Let me assure you, when we get together, you can't buy anything. Tell you what, if after 20 minutes you don't see any value or I don't feel I can improve your situation, I'll leave. I have an accountant, CPA. That's a good one. If you don't mind my asking, what does a CPA have to do with financial planning? And you don't say it arrogantly, you don't say it meanly, because you know this can read you can read this improperly. Okay? But I mean it's literally like saying I have a mechanic. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant, meaning they're trained and certified to do accounting for companies. They learn debits and credits, not personal finance. Lawyers, CPAs, bankers are all highly trained and professional. But just as I'm sure I couldn't do their job, they can't do mine. Great line. You're not diminishing what they do, it's just not the same scope of work. But just as I'm sure I couldn't do their job, they can't do mine. If they could, wouldn't more than 1% be retiring wealthy? Okay, any questions about that? Anything people are seeing out there? All right. Do me a favor. I'm not sure if I'll go through the policy. Log on to POL and go to the download center. All right. So Let's talk about a little process stuff real quick, and then I'm not gonna have time for everything today. Pull up my notes. Okay, so when we hire somebody, we have a process, right? When we get a client, we should have a process. And say we hire somebody from an interview. Okay, so I hire Shondell from an interview. I meet her, and she decides she wants to give this a shot. What do? After you leave the office? After I meet with you, you get a time for another meeting, right? Because always remember, with any client or recruit, the most important thing is the next meeting, always, okay? You never leave and not have stuff scheduled with people. So what do? What's your process?
Are you asking me as me, or are you asking me as what the person would leave to do?
No, as you. Like, say you interview me. What's your thought process for me after you meet me? You have an interview. I say I'm a 10. I'm ready to go. What's your process?
So times that meet back.
Okay.
If you're married, set up an appointment, or if you're not, do the orientation.
Okay. So she said set an appointment. The next thing that I do is I set an appointment. If they're married, I want to meet with their spouse. Okay. If they're not, then you set up a work session. Okay. Why do you meet with the spouse?
Just to get them on the same page.
You got to win the spouse. Got to win the spouse. Got to win the spouse. If they're young, they live at home, you got to win the parents. Okay. My trainer, my dad, super skeptical. You know, I had no credibility. I mean, my dad loved me unconditionally, but not credibility, and definitely not a financial advisor. Okay. I mean, I had debt. I was irresponsible. I mean, I'm the guy, mom gives me $20 for something, $5, I don't give her a change. Where's my 15 bucks? What? That was me. I'm serious. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed about it. I'm just saying, Dad, I'm going to start a financial planning business. I mean, it's ridiculous, the audacity that I had, right? So my dad's thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm about to start charging you rent. Okay, if you say some stupid stuff like this again. But I brought my trainer over, and I'm not saying my dad loved my trainer, but my trainer brought credibility. My trainer brought 13 years experience. My trainer brought the presentation. My trainer was professional. My trainer complimented me. My trainer said, I'm going to make sure he just does this part-time, but this and that. And so my dad felt a lot more comfortable. So he won the parents. All right. Now my parents still challenged me. They still confronted me, but he won the parents. A spouse, same thing, right? If you think for a second that it's different from a parent to a spouse, no. What did you do? Why did you start with this? How much did you pay? Who is this person? Who's Shondell? Who is she? All this stuff. You got to win the spouse. You're stupid if you don't think that you have to do that. I want to go meet them, shake their hand, look them in the eye, say, hey man, they're working with me. I'm going to help them, this, that, have them grill me with questions. I'm not going there to make a sale. So that is very important. What else do we do? What else do you do? What else is your process?
After the orientation?
No, right after that. Right after you meet me, what do? You schedule an appointment, then what? Is that all you do?
They get an email.
Okay. Email for what?
About the company, just information that to look at.
Okay, so she sends an email. Okay, look, we have one of the top recruiters in the entire company here. Okay, and I asked Shondell, I talked to her all about this stuff. Okay, always, because I want to know what's going on and how she's getting recruits and getting them through the system and stuff like that. So she schedules an appointment and you send an email. Why do you send this email? And what does the email contain?
Because most people have no idea what just happened in the interview, so then they're gonna go home and want to research and what did I just do and how does this work and what's she saying, is any of this real, all of that. So it has like links, articles they can look at, Because if you just go to Google, they might not see the right thing, so at least.
So what are we doing? This is what I'm looking at, right? Like some of you guys, you hire people, you don't listen. You don't listen. You don't listen to what I'm telling you. And you're letting great recruits, $100,000 earners out of your business. You only need 5 or 6 and you can make $500,000-$600,000 a year. And you let them walk out. So you send an email to what? Control the narrative.
Yeah.
To get the information in their hand. Because when they go on the dark web, okay, and start reading stuff and doing their own terrible research, you're done. You've lost.
Mm-hmm.
But if you send them information, they can at least do research. They can have real, when we send information, we're a publicly traded company. Our literature has to be approved. We're sending third-party stuff. We're sending a video that someone can dictate the information and talk to you about. This is just part-time. You don't have to quit your job. How our compensation works and what? You control the narrative. And then so it immediately, and this is what I told Amanda, right? I told him the other day, I said, we schedule stuff, she scheduled stuff on Thursday, and then they were coming back on Saturday. And Saturday is the orientation, right? So she was just like, you know what, I don't know if it was laziness. She was just like, I don't think I need to send the email because they're coming back on Saturday. And what did I say to you? Why?
Because they're going to do their own research and have to control the narrative.
Right? Yeah, Friday is a long time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, they saw one thing on the internet and they're like, you know what, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it. And you just got to understand. You just got to be prepared. Right? So one thing, this is the email?
Yes.
Okay. So this, and Shaq, thank you. More details before our next meeting. It's great meeting you. I really enjoy getting to know you. All these links, all this stuff, and a video, right? Is the orientation video on here?
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever. I mean, we'll figure out one. I mean, you should send them something. Okay. You should send them something. Here's the links. I always send the video. And our video, the problem with the video, this is the problem. What's the problem with the video? It's an hour and a half. Okay, that is very long. Okay. Me even saying that, it sounds long. Okay. Some people do watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people watch it. I had a couple people, they watched it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like, hey man, I got it. I took notes. So I just talked to Thomas. We're going to cut the video. Okay, we'll cut it and rename it in portions. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it is, and we'll have different points. Introduction, what makes us unique, find strategic partners, stuff like that. And we'll make it, and then they can, because people actually spend the time. That they just like, I end up watching, Shaq and the Fool, all the episodes, because they're 1 minute, 2 minute clips. I end up spending an hour on them. All right. And after that, I feel really bad, and I go into like a YouTube hangover, and I delete the app, and I'm like, I never deleted this app, again. But I'll still spend time on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the daunting of an hour-long video, I don't even want to click on it, right?
Right.
So we are going to cut it. That's an adjustment we'll make. Do you think we have it by tomorrow, or
Yeah, I can get
it's
it.
easy? Okay, so by tomorrow we'll have that. We'll send out the links. You send it out to people. Definitely good for people out of state watching it. Learn how to present our company. More importantly, getting the information. Okay. Obviously, good links, investor websites, strategic partners, the ratings of the company, right? All these things. If you like, when I hire people too, if I set up any sort of meeting, I send them an email.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to understand the real world. Anybody ever buy something or interested in something?
Mhm.
Like, if I ever bought something or had a question, I get a text in 30 seconds. It's called a drip campaign. Like, say I wanted to do something, for a friend. I'm asking for a friend about hair loss, okay? So, why are you laughing so hard, Ron? You don't have to tap. It's a business. All right. So, I'll get a text in 1 minute. In 1 minute. You guys gotta be good, man. You only need 7 good people. You only need 7 Jens, 7 Shonda. You only need a couple of them, man. And so you gotta be fast, right? I'm not saying, look, if send the email. So if I book an interview with Jen, immediately I have these guys, I send an email. When I say immediately, that day, right? Office address, it's name Shonda. I use these emails, man. I use them to death because, that's yes, you run your own business, you have flexibility, but, be professional. Then after the interview, I'm controlling the narrative. And one thing we're going to be working on, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow, okay, in training. I wanted to give you a preview on this because it's really important, right? You go to the company website, the download center. I think you can feel company store. Yeah. Or no, yeah, that's fine, whatever. We're going to create folders for leave behinds for clients. Okay. Anybody ever buy anything? Like, I bought a house 2 years ago, right? I don't know what kind of stuff they gave me, but it was cool. I felt like I got something when I left, right? It was a big briefcase type folder. I got it from the mortgage company, from the title company, right? And they gave me this entire packet. So we won't do, you can do life insurance. You do life insurance. So, and this is okay, right? We have some producers in here, right? So, Don, you close me up. You come, you sit down with me and my wife. You get an app. What do you leave behind?
Leave behind privacy notice. Leave behind fact sheet. Brochures.
What do you really leave behind? I know that's what you want to leave behind. What do you leave?
Receipt.
Yeah. And you left the brochure? I'm gonna call your client. I can call him. Don't lie. Huh? What do you leave behind? Nothing. What do you leave behind? Show me. All right, and right? They don't even know what you did. They gave you all this information, you gone, poof, gone. A ghost in the night.
I am gonna be real.
There's no way. I'm gonna be real. It's too late. You're already going to hell.
I started back doing it. I put some material, but that's what I usually do.
I write some things.
Oh my God.
This company is legit. I don't even have a business card. Hey, I got an Uber coming in. Actually, it's lit. Hey, is it safe to park my rental bike here? My city bike? All right. So, oh man, I love this. I love making fun of people. So fun. Yeah. The Uber pool is coming in. Anyway, stop. Let's get okay. And more importantly, right? It's not just a leave behind so you leave something. It's leave behind so you can engage them in other conversations about the full F&A.
Yep.
Right? We're gonna have a life one. We're gonna have a securities one. A lot of the security stuff you can pull from it. But we're gonna actually make these folders now because I understand for new trainers they're busy and you're not gonna do it. You can say whatever you want. You're not gonna do it. But I'll get the folders for you. You should put your own business card and we'll train on this because look, it's just like client service. It's just like recruit service, there's client service, right? You don't want to not leave something, Okay, because they're gonna do their own research. You have to what? Control the narrative. They're gonna say, oh, my group, oh, this. And some of these brochures, do you have the right protection? What term is? There's credibility. Hey, if they're doing medical exams, we'll get something from exam 1, right? We can order those things on the medical exam so they can prepare. And a lot of people will read this information. They really will. We don't have to leave 100 things. That's too much. But 5 or 6 good pieces that I'm gonna look through all this. I wasn't able to download it last night. I did look through it. No insurance, underinsured, group insurance, and you go through some pieces. And even part of it, you circle it. You say, here it is, right? And I mean, from the company store, they're 15 cents. I'll put it in the folder, whatever the shipping cost, because you have to pay for the shipping and whatever it is, $1 in envelope or whatever it is, right? But more importantly, you got to use this stuff. Just like the emails, you got to use this stuff, right? We didn't have these things when I started.
Yeah.
Right? When you do the company, and I know you can just email it to people. Are you doing it? Do you think they're opening their email? Or when I go there, you give them a receipt, you give them a privacy brochure, you give them a couple other brochures, and you have a conversation. If you're not securities licensed, hey, my broker's going to call you, talk to you. I know Peter, he says this, right? He goes over the theory after you're about to get a life app, right? Why? This is how investments in insurance works, and we're going to get you in the self-insured. A lot of these things, if you actually get a client, not a life app. Always remember, when we send these messages out on Telegram, I close something. You closed an application. You did not close the client. When do you make money? When the client starts paying. Now, obviously, investments, when the check clears, you make money. When the Vivint, after 7 days, is clear. But life insurance, which is over 50% of our income as a business right here, and some of you guys, it's more if you don't have the investment license, you get paid when the client starts making payments. Not when you do the application. And part of that is you got to be professional, man. You got to have a folder. You got to, look, I know, right? This is a very casual time in the world, right? Like, people can dress a certain way, they don't wear ties, they don't wear, they wear tennis shoes, they wear, there's like this new flavor, people email, everything's on your phone. But some things you got to understand. If you don't protect your business, you're going to work 10 times harder than somebody else. 10 times for the same or little work. For the same or little money. So when we go over this stuff, going over is one thing, implementing is another. You guys got to implement this stuff, right? Just like these emails, man. I'm teaching these guys that I'm working with directly, like, look, no, man, you're not going to run a freaking circus. Don't run a sloppy business. You think I make money because of an accident? You know what the kind of clients I have writing me checks? Do you know who I go up against? When Mike calls me, right, and he does all the work. Mike does all the work. I don't want to take credit for his work, but when he calls me to come in and assist him, we're going up against Edward Jones and UBS and Morgan Stanley, and we're going up people that have been there 10 years. And we're going in there, we've known them 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm going in there, right? And I'm going, and I have the statements, and yes, we have right on our side. That definitely helps. But you got to be professional, man. You got to get back to these people. You have to send them stuff. You have to invest in your business, right? And that doesn't mean you have to do it exactly like I do it, but the framework has to be there, all right? So this is something that we have to implement immediately, and you'll get more referrals. You'll find more places to go. You'll be more confident asking for referrals, asking for more business if you do a good job. Because there's a lot of ways to get referrals. The best way I know is do a great job for the client and you expect them. When you do a great job for people, they like the product, they want to tell other people about it. So, training tomorrow, 9:30, bring your playbook. Okay, it's the last week of the month. We're on a short week because of Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. Have your list ready and get ready to set appointments. I'll let you know about Friday. I doubt it. I highly doubt training, but I'll let you know.
But definitely Saturday, right?
Definitely Saturday. Yeah. No training on Friday. I'll mix it right now. No training Friday. But Saturday we will have training. Be ready tomorrow. Okay, set appointments, come ready. Everybody needs to set one or two, get on the phone, get in a great attitude before using some of the stuff we talked about, right? Help set up the room, and I will look for the dolly. If not, how many chairs? We need a couple people to take the chairs to the storage room on, in our intelligent office suite. All right? All right, see you guys tomorrow. Team up 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll remove some people. I know we gotta add some people.
Yeah.